Every single one of us will take upwards of 30,000 breaths in a given day. And how important are every one of those breaths? Unfortunately, a variety of things can happen that affect people's breathing in negative ways. And you and I know this far too well, having lived through the COVID-19 pandemic. During the pandemic, many people came to the hospitals with difficulty breathing. They either had at the time of their check-in or subsequently developed a condition known as acute respiratory distress syndrome, or ARDS. In fact, 90% of all of the people who unfortunately passed away due to COVID-19 had acute respiratory distress syndrome at the time of their passing. Now, acute respiratory distress syndrome isn't only relegated to a COVID-19 year. In fact, it's quite common and even pervasive. During a non-COVID-19 year, there are approximately 200,000 cases of acute respiratory distress in the United States alone. Couple with that a 40% mortality rate, and that means that 80,000 Americans die every single year due to acute respiratory distress. And the worst part, the most tragic in my opinion, is that there's currently no known cure nor effective treatment methods. This is why intensive care units across the entire United States were overwhelmed during the pandemic, as we could only administer supportive care, like you see this gentleman receiving here, and hope that they have enough strength to get better on their own. I don't like these statistics. In fact, they bother me. This is the purpose and the motivation and the why behind my research. You see, my research, I look at understanding acute respiratory distress syndrome and how it relates directly with the lung in order to be able to suggest a first of its kind therapeutic. What we see with patients with acute respiratory distress syndrome is that parts of their lungs have collapsed and other parts have overexpanded, further damaging the lung. This is very indicative of a disruption in something known as the body's lung surfactant. Lung surfactant is a thin coating on the inside of your and my lungs that stabilizes our breathing and prevents against collapse. Although we've known about lung surfactant for years and its need for proper and healthy breathing, the relationship to how ARDS, the relationship and what ARDS does to affect lung surfactant and do this breathing is not fully understood. As of yet, this is where my research comes in. Over the past 4 years and through countless tests and experiments, I've been able to develop the most robust physical understanding of healthy lung surfactant to date. We're able to use this as a baseline to compare other diseased lungs. How we do this is we believe that there are products of the immune response that are leaking into the lung. We take these products of the immune response and model them benchtop, putting them with the lung surfactant. The changes that we observe to the lung surfactant, if translated to a biological system, would result in alveolar collapse, lung collapse, and difficulty breathing. Now that we know this, we're actively working on developing a new therapeutic to scrub these products of the immune response off of the lung to develop a new first of its kind therapeutic and hopeful eventual cure. Thank you.